everyone, I'm Jody and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy this video and many others that are down in the library, and a big special welcome to my newest subscribers. So today we are going to try the new CC Plus Nude Glow Cream Serum by IT Cosmetics. Now if you're like me, you're a fan of IT Cosmetics, especially their CC cream for more mature skin, especially when you're looking for that light coverage, summertime, heat, humidity, things like that. It's a great all-around CC cream, and has been for my experience anyway. So this one, the reason this is different is it has SPF 40, which I'm very thrilled about. It also has 2% niacinamide in it. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and 90% of this is said to be skincare, and that your skin is to improve its overall look with time and usage. So I love that. It retails for $42 for 1.08 ounces. I have it in natural tan and it comes in 22 colors or 22 shades. So we're gonna give it a shot. According to the website, it says discover IT Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow Lightweight Foundation and Glow Serum with SPF 40, your medium coverage skin tint and brightening glow serum for an instant healthy glow. It's the first 90% skincare CC Plus for an instant healthy glow and brighter nude skin. So if that all is true, then we are gonna be very happy. Now, I am gonna do this in 3 days. And I apologize that I keep pulling this off of my face. That should give you some early indication of how this is gonna go. This has been an interesting experiment. We're gonna go 3 days. The first day, we're gonna do primer on one half and no primer on the other half. The second day, we're gonna skip the primer altogether and do cream blush and bronzer. This side will be powder, blush, and bronzer. Maybe some contour, but if so, it'll be in the cream and powder formulation. I'll try not to do contour, but I'm not promising anything. And then the third day, we're gonna stay with the cream and the powder, and then we'll use a setting spray to see how it works with the setting spray. Because I think that is the most versatile, variable ways of wearing this formulation that will give you an idea of how it might work in your own unique circumstance. My skin is more combination, but the oily parts of the combination, which are usually just down the corners of my nose, a little bit on my forehead, a little bit on my chin, are not really, I can't even describe it as oily. They're just not dry. So maybe more normal, slightly oily, and then I've got some dry patches around my cheeks. So I think I've got some variation that again should be to a wider range of variables to address your specific needs. So I am excited to see how this goes. I will tell you that, early spoiler alert, since I've had this on for a few hours, it does stick to the side of my face a little bit. Now, in fairness, we did not set this with a powder, and we have not used any powder, blushes, bronzer, contour to help separate that serum from my hair. But I hope you don't have to. I hope you don't have to wear a powder over this, because for those of us that are, going through this aging process, powder is typically not our friend. But we will see how it wears with powder again on this side tomorrow and day 3. Each of these days, 1, 2, and 3, I'll be checking in at about the 4-hour mark, and then again at the 8-hour mark to see how it all works and how it's looking. So if this is a journey you want to go on with me and possibly save or invest $42, then we are going to get started right now. How this works. Our first test is going to be the day 1 test. I'm going to use primer on one side of my face and not primer on the other side, so that we can get a sense of how this formula works for those of you that wear primer and those of you that don't. Now, of course, what you have on under the primer is certainly going to have some impact on how this works. I just have my sunscreen and a little bit of the La Roche-Posay moisturizer that I wear every day, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of this Tatcha Silk Canvas, where any primer should be fine if you wear a primer. I was gonna try it with the Smashbox Halo because it's also a primer, and I know many of you really like that. The reason I didn't is because that has a glow to it, and because this is the CC Nude Glow, I thought, we don't wanna look like a disco ball, so I opted for 1 level of glow and not 2 layers of glow. All right, so I'm just gonna put this on one side of my face, and I'm gonna put the primer where I usually put it, which is under my eyes, right around my nose, and sort of this area where I have larger pores. Please forgive my large finger. There's no way to do a makeup tutorial without having that finger in the picture, so I apologize. I have tried everything you can imagine and it is what it is. It's real life. I have stitches and that's that. I'm gonna apply this with a damp beauty sponge and I'm gonna use the Real Techniques. It's flat on one side. You guys know I love this one. It's a price point that I can feel okay about throwing this away after like 4 or 5 uses versus some of the other ones that are more expensive. It says to just give 2 pumps. So that's probably 1.5 if we're being, those weren't full pumps, but that 2 seems like a lot. And I have the color Neutral Tan. It might be a little dark. I do tan up to my neck with a Selfless tanner in the summertime. So by the time I do that, it will probably match just fine. Again, it's medium coverage. If you wanted more full coverage, this is buildable, but it's really not intended for coverage more than even a tinted moisturizer. 90% of it is based on skincare, which is one of the reasons I was really drawn to test this and review it for all of you, because as we age, you know, and we're getting back to busy lives and people are coming out of their homes again, we just need products that do multiple things for us, right? So if this is a home run, I am all for it. So early on, I have to say right away, I love the color of it. I think it's really pretty. It's got a little bit of a glow to it. I feel like my pores are accentuated right off the bat though. And maybe that's just me, but that's kind of how I'm feeling. But I always say trust the process, right? So I have to follow my own advice right now. But I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll do a close-up with the camera just so you can kind of see. Just looking at it like this, it feels like my pores are more accentuated on this side than where I don't have makeup. And if that's the case, then I know how this is gonna go. And I've said I'm gonna go through 4 hours and 8 hours, you guys. If it's too bad, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not gonna commit to 4 to 8 hours. If it gets bad at 4 hours and I have stuff to do, I might just abort the whole mission at that point for the day and put on makeup that I know I can rely on. But let's hope that that's not what happens. Let's hope we love it at the 4-hour mark and we just keep going with it. Now I don't have concealer on for under my eyes. Now I don't have concealer on, but I did that on purpose because not everybody wears concealer and I really wanted to see just how well this covers not only darker age spots, but discoloration, reds, purples, things like that in the skin. It does not claim to be full coverage, so I'm not expecting it, in fairness to this product, to cover these purple areas under my eyes, but I did just want to see how well it does cover. I think that's a good blend. I have to say it feels a little wet. It feels a little sticky, or maybe oily is a better word. It looks beautiful from a distance. It looks like it's got that nice healthy glow from within that we're all striving for. So from that perspective, I like it. I will add just a little bit of concealer under my eyes just to cover that up a little bit, and then we will go through the 4-hour and the 8-hour check-in. And I'm gonna leave it just like this for the rest of the day. It feels a little slippery to me. So far, I am just not really that impressed. This is the primer side. This is the not primer side. I feel like it feels heavier than a full coverage foundation. In fairness, we didn't set this with powder, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Hi you guys. All right, so we are in for our 8 hours and 27-minute check-in to be exact. And I think a couple things that I would say. One is that it's still wearing. You can still see it. It does look a little blotchy on both the primer and non-primer side. It doesn't look shiny per se. It does look more glowy versus oily. Now, if you had oily skin by this time of the day, I can see where this would probably feel pretty oily. So I don't know that I would wear this if I had oily skin. If you didn't set it with a powder, I think that's going to be pretty important. You could use it with some sort of an oil absorbing primer, but I don't know that that would really quite get, I don't know that that would really do the trick for you. You can see my pores. I definitely, whenever I catch a look in the mirror, I definitely can see my pores. They appear more enlarged on both the primer and non-primer side, both on my cheeks, around my nose, and on my chin. So all in all, for the first day with primer and no primer, I'm not overly impressed with it. It feels blotchy. So far, what I would wear this for is if you wanted to, you know, if you're gonna be home for the weekend and you just wanted a little bit on your face to make your skin tone somewhat more even, but you weren't gonna, you know, even soft glam the look. If you're just gonna maybe throw this on with a light lipstick and just a little bit of mascara, or maybe you want an all natural look, but your skin is a little uneven, this might give you just enough of the coverage to look like a real no makeup look. We are back for day 2. Today we just have a little bit of sunscreen on underneath, no primer, and based on day 1 results, we're gonna stick with just powder on top of this. Typically I would do a cream blush, maybe a little bit of cream contour, but I think that might lend itself to sort of that slipping that I got and not quite the staying power that I would like to see. Now, because this is a lighter than a tinted moisturizer in terms of coverage, this is not the type of coverage that I would normally then layer with a contour and a concealer and a highlighter and a bronzer, because that's just that is more of a, you know, a soft glam, full glam look, where the coverage of this product is more of a everyday no makeup type look. So know that. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye just to see if it wears a little bit better on top of this product. I'm a little hesitant just because, again, a cream on top of this makes me a little bit nervous, but this is IT Cosmetics Under Eye Concealer. It's not one of my favorites. I know many of you love this concealer, and if this is like your ride or die concealer, hands down, if you're on a deserted island and only could take one concealer, if this is the one you would take, please leave me a comment as to like what is it about it that you love so much. And if it's not and you have another under eye concealer that you love, I'd love to know what that is also. Now I'm going to set that under eye area with just a little bit of the Wayne Goss Weightless Powder just to see if that will help it stay in place a little bit better. And I'm going to go in with a little bronzer right here. It's a nice matte bronzer. I'm using my BK Beauty 106 brush. We're just going to kind of lighten that up a little bit, but really the purpose for me is to sort of set that and see how it goes. Now what we'll do is on one side, we're going to use just setting spray over these powders. This side, I'm going to set it really lightly with an all-over powder. I'm going to use the Wayne Goss Weightless Powder and then use setting spray. So we'll see if the combination of the powder and setting spray performs any better than just the setting spray. Because we're using these powder products, I think we'll end up with a little better result from yesterday. Can you hear the hopefulness in my voice? Just a little bit of color today, just to say we've got something going on. Next, I'm gonna go in with this light blush. It's kind of a rose color. If you're looking for a good palette that has a little bit of everything in it in terms of your base, then this Vacation Mode is a good one from Physicians Formula. I will say it has a little bit of a scent. It's not strong enough to give me a headache, but I'm not as sensitive as others, so just know that going into it, that it is has a little bit of a scent. I have a pretty busy schedule today. I have a few meetings. I'll be in and out of the car, a couple errands I need to run. It's a little bit windy here today, so we'll see how it all holds up. I'm going to lightly powder this side with, again, that Wayne Goss. Not a fan of adding powder. I don't want to have to wear something if I have to wear powder, but that's okay. We'll see how this holds up. If in my meeting they keep looking at me funny like, you do makeup, then we'll know it was a utter fail. And then last, we'll set both sides with the e.l.f. setting spray and see how the day goes. So wish me luck. I'll check in with you guys in about 4 to 4.5 hours. All right, it is time for our 4-hour check-in, where we set this foundation with a powder, being in the cheek area with the blush and a little bit of that bronzer. It definitely is wearing better. Now, this side of the face had those two formulas as well as the overall weightless powder by Wayne Goss, and I feel like that is definitely set and lasted much longer. It's been about 4.5 hours. It's still, doesn't feel tacky. I was outside. I didn't feel like my hair kind of got stuck on the side of my face like it did the first day that we tested this. Yeah, and the way my face looks up close, the texture is just not, I'm not loving it. I don't feel like the glow payoff is worth the enlarged appearing pores and the tackiness of this foundation. All right, you guys, so we are here for our final thoughts at the 8.5 hour wrap-up day of day 2 of this review. I would say that, you know, I'm not really sure the right application for this. I think if you have oily skin, this serum is going to be way too oily on top of your oily skin and really slip. If you then decided to set it with a powder, and I am a big fan of the Wayne Goss Weightless Powder. I've used it with a variety of foundations. It works great. On top of this foundation slash serum, it got a I wouldn't say gummy. It didn't ball up into gummy, but it definitely felt where it sort of settled into fine lines and wrinkles and pores. It just had a weird consistency. So not a pretty look. For those of you that have dry skin, I think you could use it, but it doesn't apply evenly, and you have to have some sort of powder on top of it to set it. I think if you were to put a cream blush, for example, or a cream bronzer or a cream contour on top of this, I really think you'd get a lot of slippage. So while I'm a big fan of IT Cosmetics and their CC cream and their brushes, love them, I think this one is a bit of a fail. I do think that I would go back to this L'Oreal True Match, and it is a tinted moisturizer. If you like having skincare in your foundations or tinted moisturizers, this does have the hyaluronic acid in it, so you do get some of that benefit. If it didn't give you enough glow, you can mix it with the L'Oreal Glow Lotion or add the Smashbox Halo Primer underneath it, or mix it with it and put it on that way. And I think you'd end up with the same glow, little better coverage, still some skincare, and a much better long wear. Final thoughts, I don't know that it's a must-have, but it can be right for the right, yeah, no, I'd save my $42. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.